Good morning, folks. Welcome to the Daily Dose of Dawn. Mansplaining the Handmaid's Tale. Yes, that's right, the epic mansplanation continues. Okay. We last left off on episode 5. I am prepared to go, all the way through episode 12 today, but there's only 13 episodes in the season. And I do not want to basically end up with one episode for the season left and try to do a whole episode about that. So we'll go as far as episode 11, if possible, if we get that far. And, on one hand, I got 4 players out here, so it might be the case. On the other hand, this is the rookie course, so it might be pretty quick. We'll see. And there's a par 4 where it looks like pretty much everybody's going to make it to the green. So, alrighty then. Oh, look at that headlighter right here. Good morning. There's my fluffy little co-host underneath there. Off camera. He doesn't want to be on camera. Yeah. You're about to get fed here in 5 minutes by an auto feeder. So don't cry to me. Alrighty, folks. So, episode 6, as you may recall, at the end of episode 5, the baby Nicole was in Canada and Waterford's found her. They found a video on the internet of Luke and the baby Nicole. So now they know where the kid is and they're coming for her. Oh, they're coming for her with the power of prayer. Because that's what they're really trying to do. And June, of course, now is getting pretty open about, I'm actually praying for the opposite of what you want because you're all dicks. Good job for her. Good for her. So, Lawrence tells June Waterford needs to borrow her, taking her to D.C. for a little while. Alright. So they go to the Capitol where we meet George Winslow. Alright, moving on up. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Now, first thing we notice at the Winslow house, holy shit, there's like fucking 5, 6 children running around here. I mean, everybody's like, Jesus, I ain't never seen so many goddamn kids in one place before. So, holy crap, and boy, is that ever creepy. I mean, them children sure as shit love this creepy bastard. So, we got more videos of a bunch of people praying. They're making videos of praying to send to Canada. Try to get them to force them to send a kid back. We see Commander Nick stops in. Say hi to his old boss. Alright, cool. June, on the other hand, is feeling totally betrayed by Serena. Because, she was like, I set up that meeting for you to see it, for you to say goodbye. Not pull this bullshit. So, they're talking to, all the ambassador people, the Swiss and all that, and they're like, we want to talk to your handmaid alone. And And they're all like, "Well, that's against our traditions." And they're like, "Yeah, well, you want your kid back?" Because, nah, we want to hear what she has to say. Oh, boy. Of course, Serena tells June, "Hey, don't be stupid," before she goes in there. Oh, boy. So June goes in and talks with the ambassador people. She's all like, "Oh, you can't help me, but, I don't want my daughter in Canada, and Fred ain't the father." And, like, yeah, I want the kid to stay in Canada. I don't want him returned. And surprisingly, they're like, "Yeah, we already know Fred's not the father. Like, we got the tape that you sent, Luke. So, But she's basically like, "Hey, to keep the kid out, you gotta give us something." And she says, like, "What if I get a high ranking commander to, like, tell you shit? You know?" Because they're like, I guess the rest of the world is sitting there going, like, "Hey, Gilead's kind of a mystery to us. Like, how are their decisions made? What is their power structure? What's it really like? That's what we need to know." Which I have to admit, this is the first time it was pointed out, and I'd started really thinking, I'm like, yeah, we don't really know what the power structure is in Gilead either. I mean, at first, like, Fred seemed like he was super high up. Now he doesn't really seem all that high up, and I don't know. Like, we keep meeting another boss, and then that boss has always got a boss, so, you know. But anyway, so now, all right, well, we'll try not to get ahead of ourselves a little bit here, but let's point out that she knows exactly who they're talking about. The ambassador lady does, June. Okay. And she's like, "Oh, Nick Blaine? Is that who you're talking about? The kid's father? Yeah, bring him down. He doesn't sound like the type of person who would cooperate with us, but bring him in and we'll do something." Okay. Oh. Of course, in the meantime, this is going so well for Fred, or at least he thinks it is, that George is talking to him about moving to D.C. "Hey, there might be a future in this for you." All right, cool. Now, after a little bit of convincing, Nick agrees he'll help out and try to in order to get the kid to stay in Canada. Well, she brings Nick to him, and he agrees to help, and they leave the meeting, and they're like, "Sorry, but we can't work with Nick Blaine. He's just not the type of person we can work with." And we're kind of like, "Huh? The fuck?" June's like, what did Nick do?" According to Serena, we wouldn't be in Gilead without him. So, oh, what on earth could that mean? Ugh. Now I see again, though, like when she first brought up Nick, they seemed to know who he was and knew he was. They at least knew he was the father. But I mean, like, what did they find out there or not know before that they did find out? I don't get it. Like, it doesn't make sense. Why didn't they know this before? That's basically what I'm wondering. Oh, well. Oh, and we get a scene where Lydia is getting June prepared for the next creepy prayer ceremony. And this time, apparently, they have this super fucking fancy looking gag that they put over them. And June is just like, "Lydia, do you really want us all silenced?" "Of course not, dear." But doesn't really give any further explanation because it kind of really seems like she does. Boy. So we go to the Lincoln Memorial. June and Serena have a little confrontation. June is like, what the fuck, bitch? You were supposed to say goodbye and go away. And Serena was like, yeah, well, I'm the mother. Except you're not, but, you know, I'm not giving it up. Oh, boy. And then we have another creepy ceremony of prayer. And that is the end of it. End of episode 6. Alright. Oh. Shit. Yeah, I knew I should have backspun that. Alrighty then. So, episode 7 starts out with a shocker. There's a hanging going on. Because, you know, that's all these fucking people do is hanging in ceremonies. Like, the fuck, man? Oh, so we are in the market. And June approaches the Mackenzie's Martha. It really makes me wonder, like, how far away this supposed district is. I mean, I don't know. The first time that this is mentioned, that her daughter is somewhere around here, seems like it's really far away. Now she's apparently, like, in the same neighborhood. I don't know. Anyway, so she talks to her, and the Martha tells her, like, there's a guy named Parker at the gate of the school Hannah's at. Go see him, and maybe he'll let you see your kid. I don't know. Meanwhile, up in Canada, Emily is getting a 3rd degree from the Canadians because she's the one who's apparently has custody of the kid. Her and Luke. Yeah, I mean, she showed up with the kid at least. But she's getting asked about all of her criminal activity in Gilead. Oh, and also point out, okay, so this is weird. Y'all remember the last episode when Serena, I mentioned, like, Serena said Emily, like, called her a murderer. And I was like, well, wait, did she murder Aunt Lydia? Is she dead? But Aunt Lydia's not dead. What the fuck she's talking about? I think Serena might have been talking about she killed a wife in the colonies. I just remembered, like, she poisoned a woman. But I'm again like, how does Serena know about that? And if she does know about that and they know she did it, like, why did they take her out of the colonies? I don't know. I'm starting to think, like, okay, they definitely have ways of you know, punishing the handmaids and all that shit, but it really seems like, you know, they just don't kill them for nothing. You know? Which makes sense, because there ain't very many fertile women in the world here, so I guess. Oh. So, back in D.C., Serena and Winslow and Mrs. Winslow, they're running around, they're looking at houses, they're like, hey, you know, this is pretty nice here and all that. Look at But Winslow George is telling Fred, like, hey, that baby being in Canada is actually pretty good political leverage. So, I mean, let's not super hurry up getting him back. Or getting her back. Alright. So back home, June and Eleanor. Yeah. June tells Eleanor, she's like, hey, why don't we go for a walk? And Eleanor's just like, oh. Let's see here. On the way, we get a little backstory. Eleanor tells her about, her and Lawrence tried to have kids before. They open up and get together, and that's when June opens up to Eleanor. She's like, hey, I kinda was a bit of a bitch and tricked you here. I really want to go to the school where I might get a chance to see my real daughter, Hannah. So, can we do that? Eleanor's like, yep, let's do it. Keen on adventure. Okay, down. So June and Eleanor end up going to this crazy, creepy school that looks very much like a prison. I mean, straight up. It's got walls, barbed wire, and fucking all sorts of shit. There's armed guards outside. I mean, the fuck, man. Everything in this goddamn place is depressing. That's the elementary school. Oh boy. Now, Eleanor going in there is all like, yeah, I'm Commander Lawrence's wife. I was promised a tour of this facility. And the Guardians are like, oh, come on inside and we'll figure this out. Well, they bring Eleanor inside and they leave June outside, which is kind of weird because I thought there was a law that women couldn't be alone. But, hey, Alright. So while June is left alone, she is walking around the walls of the prison school, and she thinks she hears Hannah's voice. Oh boy. But she eventually hears Eleanor calling. She has unfortunately gotten confused. She's insisting on seeing the children, and the Guardian's like, yo, I can't let you around the children like this. You're crazy. And June is just like, hey, she has mental problems. She's confused. Very cool. But, bam. So they end up getting sent back home. Lawrence is pretty fucking pissed off about the whole thing. Of course. Oh, let's see here. Up in Canada, Emily and Moira have another little confessional. That's where Emily tells Moira about the wife she killed, and Moira's like, ain't nothing, I killed a commander. No, they're not bragging about it. They're like, they turned us into such awful people. Let's see here. Okay, so the next morning, once again, we're gonna have a hanging. Because, it's what we do here. Oh, and it's another one. This one endangered a child. And friggin' it's the Mackenzie's Martha. Oh shit. She is being hung for child endangerment, the worst sin possible. Oh boy. And of course, June gets to take part in the hanging. They got this whole creepy big rope system that they heave ho. It is really dumb. So after the hanging, June is pretty pissed off because she's like, oh shit, probably. And also, yeah, before the hanging, the rumor was, yep, the Mackenzies are gone. And even my commander doesn't know where. Oh, shit. Afterwards, the little brainwashed handmaid or shopping partner of Matthew, well, she tells her, she's like, hey, you should be grateful. I've removed temptation. And she's like, what? Like, yeah, I saw you talking to that Martha at the market and told Aunt Lydia about it. Ah, shit, bitch. No, you didn't. Boy, snitches get stitches. June is like, fuck that bitch. Attacks her right there. It's all slow motion, crazy, psychotic woman shit. Fucking like, yeah. And that is the end of episode 7. Alrighty. Alright. Okay then. Well, sorry about that, folks. I lost my train of thought for a second because I realized I'm missing something here, but take care of that in a little bit. Episode 8 will, of course, begin off Matthew is being ostracized as fuck because he's a little bitch who got somebody hung for really no goddamn reason and does not appear to feel bad about it at all. Instead, seems to insist that she did the right thing. Which, yeah. So, basically, they're gonna have another creepy ceremony, as usual. Alright, so we are gonna have another creepy blaming ceremony. June is in the middle, and Aunt Lydia is all like, yeah, you talked to that Martha, you got her killed, and you ruined Hannah's life, and now she's been uprooted and moved out. Good on June, she's turning into the badass, because she's all like, yep, my fault, what the fuck ever. Dumb bitch. Fucking great. But then, in an interesting twist, June turns it around, and she's like, oh, by the way, off Matthew there, she don't want her kid. She don't want her baby that she's pregnant with. Oh, shit, and Aunt Lydia's immediately, like, fucking turned right back on her. Like, oh my, you think you know better than God then, huh? Oh, and they put her in the blaming circle. Boy, the other girls are loving that. Sinner, sinner, sinner. Fucking shit. Ugh. At this point, we get a flashback for Lydia. Oh, there's a kid that she's looking after. She makes chili for him, and the mom shows up, and so like, well, why don't both of you stay? And turns out the mom's a stripper or some shit, and Lydia's trying to be all godly like, but you know. Oh, and the stripper ends up hooking Lydia up with some dude, and the dude ends up breaking her heart, and now she is just total bitch face. Gets some job with social services, and is like, and ends up taking away the stripper's kid because she's an unfit mom. Oh boy. So we finally get that little bit of backstory on her. We also learned that she was married at one point. Oh. So Lydia is back and she's talking with the people all like, it's real important when choosing a handmaid to also choose the environment. We never had problems with June until the water fords, so you know, maybe we shouldn't have him in Lawrence's. In the meantime, so we're back to the market, and friggin' June is just getting crazier and crazier at this point. But she about to get out crazied by Off Matthew, who all of a sudden is like, whoa. Friggin' attacks Janine and fucking grabs a Guardian's gun and fucking it basically ends up getting shot by a Guardian. And that will be the end of episode 8. Alright, folks, before we get into episode 9, it seems like a good time. Give a shout out to the show's sponsor, Dubby Energy Drinks. Yep, that's right, folks. Dubby Energy Drink. No jitters, no crash, just pure gamer fuel and focus. Kind of focus that'll get you through. Nice round of Mario Golf. And you'll be able to get a nice little 10 under par 2 at the 9th hole. I'll admit that ain't bad. Of course, that's what I said in the beginning. This is a rookie course, so it's probably going to be a super high scoring game. Alrighty then, so you just take your W energy drink there powder and then mix her in with some water. As I say, I always like to use the soda water just because of the carbonation. We'll let that settle down for a little bit while I sync this, hopefully. Probably will sync it just because the other video's taking up half the screen, so yeah, that sounds about right. No, not syncing that, but alrighty. There, now once that settles down with the old fizz, I'll take a swig of that. And man, it is like spinach for Popeye, man. All of a sudden, I'll be like Superman on this game here. And of course, you can get your own tub of Dubby. Just go to the link in the description of this video. Use the promo code TDDD for the daily dose of down. Get 10% off your order. You can get yourself a nice tub of Dubby. There's about like 40 energy drinks in here. Alright? Or get yourself a nice shaker. Make your Dubby up. Solo leveling partnership. I'm not sure what that is. It's some kind of anime. But, you know, it's gotta be cool. Alrighty, folks. Let's get back to golfing and get back to mansplaining. Let's see here. So, off Matthew, or Natalie, as is her real name is. Apparently, if you get shot, they use your real name. Real comfort thing. Alright, so Natalie's in the hospital. She is brain dead and comatose, but the baby is alive. And so, wow, now Natalie is legit just a fucking vessel there, creating another baby. So, yeah, boy, this show just always finds new ways to become depressing, huh? Absolutely amazing. Oh, so June's punishment for the way she treated her is that she is stuck in that hospital until her baby is born. June will not go home until her shopping partner goes home. Oh boy. June, on the other hand, her sadistic nature is just growing, man. She like sees her having seizures, and Lydia's like, "Whoa, what the hell's going on?" And she's like, "Yeah, if we're lucky, you'll see her shit herself." Oh. So, June, of course, after months upon months of this, is going fucking nuts. And she's basically like, yeah, damn it. One night, she's got a scalpel, and she's gonna slice up Natalie. But crazy old Janine is there. And she's like, oh, you know, because her wounds kept getting infected, so she's got to go to the hospital too. And she sees what June is going to do, and she's like, oh shit, you've changed too. Become such a bitch. So June thinks twice about stabbing Natalie, but she's still got the scalpel. And she's in there later on with the doctor, and Serena is there for some reason. And she's sitting there with that scalpel like, I'm a fucking, I should stab all these motherfuckers. But if I can only stab one, which do I stab first, Serena or the doctor? The doctor's the high up motherfucker. But Serena's a bitch. Alrighty. So, eventually, later on, Serena does see June with the knife, tries to wrestle it away from her. And June ends up cutting herself real deep with it. And so they gotta show it to the doctor. And the doctor's like, oh, Serena says you accidentally cut yourself. Like, yeah, let's go with that. And then she talks with the doctor, and June confesses. She's like, yeah, so I was gonna stab you and Serena and Natalie and run away. That was the plan for a little while. And the doctor's like, yeah, I kind of told them that probably would happen. You know, long-term isolation. But the doctor kind of tries to justify his crazy whack job shit here. He's like, the baby's my patient, not Natalie. And, you know, the baby's the one whom I'm going to keep alive. Honestly, it probably doesn't really convince me much of that would, you know. But eventually they C-section the kid out and cut the baby out, and what was kind of a gross, didn't really need to see that scene. It's actually a perfect example of why I would just suggest listening to Mansplaining the Handmaid's Tale instead of watching it. But, oh boy. So June meets a little girl in the hospital, and the little girl is brainwashed, like, oh, I'm blessed to be fertile, and, you know, I mean, I'm not old enough to have kids yet, but I can't wait to have kids, and I'm going to have them as early as I possibly can, and it's great, because the government wants me to. Or God, you know. One of them. They kind of go in one hand in hand here, but... Oh boy. So now Natalie's dead. June can go home, but she asks Aunt Lydia, can I stay with Natalie for a little bit more? And she's like, oh, you are learning your lesson. That'd be nice of you, dear. Alright. So, Aunt Lydia, another interesting act of kindness. She gives Janine a nice designer matching eye patch. You know, it matches the red dress. Aww. Aunt Lydia is so nice to that girl whom she yanked her eyeball out years ago. And then June is talking to Natalie's, I assume, dead body at this time, or brain dead, or going to be dead. I don't fucking know. But she's dead. At this point, she ain't got no baby. And basically, June is like, well, I've been inspired by you. I'm gonna change. I'm gonna get as many children out of Gilead as possible. Oh boy. And that is the end of episode 9. Alrighty. And folks, as always, no matter where you're watching this, Facebook, YouTube, make sure you head on over and like the other. Hit their like, subscribe, share this shit. Come on, share it with your friends. Tell all people how enlightened you are because you got the Handmaid's Tale mansplain to you. Come on. Also, we are now on Instagram. Seriously, I thought for the longest time I thought Instagram was like a weed delivery service, but apparently it is social media, and the Daily Dose of Dawn is on it. Yeah! Alright, so head on over to the Daily Dose of Dawn on Instagram. Like, follow, subscribe, or whatever the fuck they do over there. I haven't even really looked at it that much. But you will see clips from yesterday's show, which was a good one. We had a special guest, legendary independent pro wrestler, Brian the Original Hebrew. Straight up. It's a good one. You should go like and subscribe for that. Alrighty then. Episode 10. Which this will probably be. We'll see, actually. Alright. So we open up, and Lydia mentions, looks like Lawrence has upgraded the house to the new standards. That's good. See him getting along with people. Apparently Waterford is so impressed with DC he wants to make Boston like DC. Alright. Eleanor, getting a little worse, a little crazier, and June was talking to the Marthas that are running the resistance there. It's like, yeah, we're gonna get as many children out as possible. And the Martha's like, yeah, you're fucking nuts. You want to move children? Yeah, that's a whole nother fucking thing. I mean, you see, we got this problem going on with Canada right now, and you wanna make it worse with more children? Sure, go ahead. I forgot. So June is trying basically to convince Lawrence, hey, you're kind of a piece of shit, but you love your wife. You want her out, right? Somewhere where she could actually get real medication and not just stupid herbal teas and whatever. Yeah. So then she tells Alma about the idea of kids, or getting the kids out. Look at Bowser with his hole-in-one. Alma ain't excited either. She also thinks she's fucking crazy. Let's see here. And then, let's see, we get a mention there. Lawrence's power seems to be waning. He's got to go to meetings now, it is mentioned. So while he's out, Eleanor and Jane look, June's looking for information on the children. Alright, while he's out. And Eleanor is like, oh, what? You want to save the children? Sure, cool. He keeps those in the basement. Let's go find them. Oh, alright, that was easy. Man, this Eleanor bitch seems to make a lot more sense than Serena does, but alright. Well, I mean, Serena's just baby crazy, I guess, but... Let's see here. So, we go to Fred and Winslow, and they're kind of starting to sour a bit on Lawrence. I mean, Lawrence Lawrence is pretty much protecting June, and I'm pretty sure that's what's really getting him under Fred's radar, on Fred's radar. But, alright, so he points out to Winslow, like, hey, man's had like 4 handmaids. He hasn't gotten any of them pregnant. What's going on here? Is he even trying? What's up? So, they're gonna pay him a visit. They're like, hey bro, we know you're supposed to do the ceremony tonight. We're gonna pray for a ceremony, and then we're gonna have the doctor check her out just to make sure you're actually doing the ceremony. Ah, shit, because he don't want to do the ceremony. You see now, so once again, this show has found another crazy way to reinvent rape. I mean, I had no idea there was just so many different ways of doing it. Oh, so now, like, basically, Lawrence is sitting there, like, so I gotta fuck this woman in front of my wife, whom I actually do love and don't want to cheat on, but nah, yeah, if I don't, then all 3 of them are probably gonna be up on the wall fucking dead, so fuck. Once again, who the fuck is really raping who? It just seems like the government is raping everybody up in here, man. I don't know. Okay. So June basically walks Lawrence through how to get raped. It's so fucking depressing. So, and they get through it, and on the way out the door, June is talking to Fred, and Fred's like, yeah, so, how is it? And June's just like, at least it isn't you. Oh, boy. Okay then, so Lawrence, or yeah, June of course points out, hey, so you know this is probably gonna happen again, right? And yeah, it will definitely happen again, and this is what finally convinces Lawrence, alright, I get you a truck, you get me out, my wife out, and like 10 kids. That's what we can do. Go for it. So over there, blah. Serena is tired of waiting for the government to get off their asses and get her Nicole back. It's really confusing, really, to be honest with you. She's back and forth between, like, I want my daughter to grow up in this happy place, and also saying, like, yeah, but I want to be with her. So, I don't know. I'm sure it's very, very confusing. But she is tired of waiting for them, and she tells Fred, hey, I met an American up in Canada named Mark. He can help us out here. Oh boy. In the meantime, at the very end here, we learn that apparently now that it's looking possible, everybody is totally on board with June's idea of getting as many kids out as possible. And then she realizes, oh shit, we're gonna need a bigger truck. And that is the end of episode 10. Oh boy. Oh, wow, that would have been nice. Alright, I think we can power through episode 11. And then we will have 12 and 13 for the last one. That'll be a real short episode, but we'll see. Shooting this one uphill, so I'm going to want to backspin it, but hit it as hard as possible. Oh, well, maybe I wanted to forward spin it. But, alright. Okay, so the episode opens up. We learn June has 52 kids to figure out how to fit in 10 seats on a truck. Oh, shit. Okay then, so Elle unfortunately is getting even worse though, and she needs to be talked down again after going a little crazy. Okay, but after another crazy, fucking episode, Lawrence once again agrees, alright, well, we'll help all the kids, or as many as we can, but I still don't know how the fuck we're gonna do it. So we see the Waterfords. They are heading off, driving somewhere. Fred mentions it's good to be driving again. It's weird to be driving again. Oh, shit. Then we get down the road a little ways, and he even then mentions, well, we're not going to run into anybody for miles. Why don't you drive, honey? So let Serena drive. Alright. So, they get a visit back at the Lawrence's house. They get a visit from the Mayday reps. And they are not happy with this helping 52 children plan. They believe it's going to totally compromise everything that they're doing. But after a bit of an argument, they agree they will not help, but they will not stop it either. Alright. A little bit later on, we find the Marthas are talking with June, and they mention, hey, we have not seen either of them, Lawrence or Eleanor, this morning. What the hell's going on? They look up in Lawrence's office, and it is tore up. He's gone, and there's a note that says, sorry. Oh, shit. That sucks. Oh. So then we get a scene with Fred and Serena talking as they're driving still, wondering, oh, what would life have been like if we hadn't had this revolution? Oh, I probably would have quit my job in marketing, and you'd be a TV pundit, and I'd be managing your career, and, like Serena would be the star, and Fred would be in the back. Probably pissed off about that, because, he doesn't seem like that kind of guy. But Fred seems a little bit like he wants out of this bullshit. Again, it goes back to what I've been saying from the beginning. Who's having a good time here? Nobody. Jeez. That's the unrealistic part of this whole thing. Alright, so back home, Lawrence returns. Alright. Turns out he tried to run and he found out, oh, all my high level clearances are gone. I can't go nowhere. No, I don't think that's an oversight. Oh, shit. So, well, June's like, well, you can help. You can fucking take me to Jezebel's tonight. Oh, shit. So, once again, the bar that took a whole fucking episode to explain how to get to. Yep, flash one scene, and we're at Jezebel's. She's all dressed up in her hoe outfit. That sort of thing. Alright. And she goes and talks to the bartender, Billy. Okay, this is the one that Martha's told her to go talk to. The one who'll get he's apparently got a cargo plane. And she's like, I just need you to hold that plane on the ground for like a day and then get kids in it. And the dude is like, yeah, 20 minutes maybe. That's about it. You know? And yeah, well. Ugh. So basically June says to him, she's like, yeah, well, you like money, right? Okay? Lawrence has got like all sorts of crazy fucking art in his house that apparently they just like raided the museums and these people just put it in their houses. Sure. Yeah, that I actually really believe, but still. Alright. But June's like, you can have all the art. I don't know how she's in any position to give it to him. I mean, like, the best she can do is be like, well, Lawrence is gone at this point, so get in there and get it, but there's also a shitload of guardians around, so good luck. But Billy's like, yeah, this plan's fucking crazy, I'm not too interested. So she leaves, but, runs into Winslow. Oh, what is Winslow doing here at Jezebel's? Well, she doesn't really get to ask that, but she does ask, hey, Winslow does ask her, hey, did Lawrence bring you here? And she's like, yeah, he did. He's like, well, why ain't he here having fun with you? And she's like, well, he likes to send me down here, and then I come back and tell him what happened. You all got your kinks. He's like, all right, let's give him something to tell. Something to tell him about. So Winslow takes her into the scene, and he's about to rape her, and she's going through the whole thing in her head like, you just detach yourself from it. You just let it go, and just let it happen, or some shit, you know? Well, this time she don't just let it happen, and she pushes his ass off, and he gets rough, and she gets stabbity. And oh boy, Winslow is dead. And now I got a problem. Because, I mean, you got a dead high-ranking commander in a place that isn't supposed to exist. And you dress like a hoe in a place where hoes aren't really looked down upon. It's all really bad, okay? But it turns out one of the girls that's there too, for some reason. Alright, she's like, yeah, I was there when you was there, like with Lawrence picking the 5 Marthas. I'm one of the 5 that you saved. So, I'm gonna help you. Get out here. Get out the door. Alright, she leads her out the door, and June don't know what happened from there, but she just gets in the car and tells Lawrence, drive. Alright. See, once again, Fred, a commander, making a big deal about driving again. Okay? It's weird driving again. Apparently he hasn't driven in like forever. And Lawrence had a driver. He had a driver in the last season when he was driving Emily around. So, I was kind of assuming like commanders don't really drive themselves much. But apparently, again, he drove her through all these checkpoints. And just, like nothing. Alright. Whatever. Alright, fine. Okay, then. Meanwhile, the Waterfords, they are back on the road. They meet up with Mark, and Mark is like, there's a place just up the road, real safe. We'll talk. Follow me. And Fred follows him. He's like, man, this is quite a ways up the road. What is going on here? And he gets out of the car. He's like, this is pretty far up the road. And that's when they get surrounded. And Mark's like, you have just crossed into Canada, Fred Waterford. You are under arrest. All sorts of crimes against humanity. All right, well. Of course, Fred's all like, oh, fuck. And, oh, Serena, don't fucking tell him anything or some shit. Oh, fuck. And that is the end of episode 11. Which is perfect timing, folks, because as you can see, I'm on hole 18 here, which is probably going to be sank in just a few minutes, a minute or two. So that seems kind of perfect. As I said, I already watched the next episode, episode 12, but I have not watched the finale yet, so I won't spoil anything for you. Fuck! And I won't pretend to be a super genius predicting stuff I already saw, because it's funnier when I'm wrong. Oh, boy, oh boy. Yeah, but I gotta say, like, I mean, as I've said, now that the shock value is worn off, this show is getting easier to make fun of. Which is good. Well, we'll see, because we're going into the 4th season, and usually, like, if a show goes beyond 5 seasons, I find that to be a huge risk, and this is 6 seasons. So, we'll see. I mean, we are running out of shit that can happen, is the problem. I mean, like, this keeps happening over and over again, where... Like, first we meet the commander, and he seems untouchable, and, like, then it turns out he isn't. He's actually very, very touchable. And everybody's just like, yeah, fuck you, Fred, And then, like, we meet the next guy, Lawrence, and he seems to just do whatever the fuck he wants in the beginning. And now he is quite touchable. So, I mean, I'm at this point like, alright, I'm ready to meet whoever the fuck is in charge of this place. Because somebody has got to actually be, like, benefiting from all of this. And I've yet to figure out who that is. Alrighty, folks. Next episode, we will cover the last 2, episode 12 and 13. I hope you tune in for that. In the meantime, keep up to date with what's going on with your daily dose of down.